Riemann. So tell us a little bit about your PvP story, PvP tournament story, and tell us where you ended up. We were following you for a while there. Your exploits
my
going on.
my my exploits. Yeah. Yeah. I was.
By exploits, I don't mean cheating. I mean exploits by
No. No. I.
adventures.
I know. No. I know. I know. I know what you mean. So I was. I was doing very well. I was. Very into it. I had just thought in my head that for sure these guys were gonna, do some sort of shenanigans, with the hop skips and the leapfrogging, with the bogus teams, and I just wanted to stay up to make sure that none of those shenanigans were going on while I was sleeping because I was assuming that that's when they tried to pull those shenanigans, and I was right a couple of times, and I benefited from it, and then what ended up happening was the the night of the last night of the tournament, I was up all night, and there were these guys that were just kind of sitting there, and I had a feeling that they were planning something because they were all from the same guild, and not a single one of them had made a move since about 1 in the afternoon before. So none of them had done a battle since the refresh. And I was thinking that's really peculiar, right? So they're definitely planning something for like late night tonight. So I stayed up all night for them to do what I thought they were going to do. And at around 5 o'clock in the morning, they actually started to go at exactly what I thought they were going to do, and they did it. And then I just stayed ahead of them right all the way, and I ended up taking about a 1,000 point lead into about 2 hours before the end of the tournament. And then I didn't see anybody moving for about like 20 minutes to a half hour, so I just put my head back for a second, figuring I was going to buy another vault and then just try to just blast it out just to finish it up for the last hour. And I ended up falling asleep, and I woke up about 50 minutes left, 45 to 50 minutes left in the tournament, and the guys who were behind me were right on my tail. So I was just I bought a vault, and I just started, just auto battling through the easiest team I could get, and it was back and forth. Like, I mean, I lost first place, I got first place back, I lost first place, I got it back. It was three of us, another Team Skunk member from Team Skunk New, and then a member of FTB, and then we just were going back and forth, and uh, one of the guy from FTB threw in a tank team, and I was autoing his team to get through it as quick as possible. He ended up throwing in like a tanky team with like Ayla and fives, like it was like an anti AOE counter team with Sunfac and everything, and I was like, so it started to slow me up, and I started to like lose the amount of like battles I could do. It was a really good strategic move by the guy, and then I ended up. I ended up falling short with about a minute, with about 30 seconds left. I actually went to go look at the ranks, and I was in rank three, and rank one was up on me by 35 points, and rank two was up on me by 10 points. So that's what happened.
So where did you finish?
I finished in third place.
Not too bad, huh? Not too bad. So that gave you a full unlock of Shore Trooper,
Got
right? And then how many
yep,
shards?
full unlock plus 180 shards, which gives you the capability to 6-star him. So I got him to 6 stars, and I've already been messing around with him. I gave him, I geared him up. He's not max gear yet or anything, but I have him at level 80, 6 stars, and I ended up just throwing him in my arena team for a little bit just to see how he does. And he's actually holding up pretty well, even at gear eights, 6 stars. I mean, I can't wait to get him to 7 stars and just finish him up.
Yep, you guys can check out that video posted that Remont has on his YouTube channel. There's a link to it on the lordskunk.com site if you want to see Shore Trooper in action. So you can check that out over there. So overall, what were your thoughts then on the tournament? Are you looking forward to doing another one?
I'm definitely not investing like I did into this one. I was I mean, that was so expensive. I got to tell you. I mean, like that last hour was just 750 crystals every team. I mean, I blew through 20,000 crystals in 45 minutes. It was bananas. You know what I mean? But it was like it was a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. It was a lot of fun. It was a really like heated battle at the end. I wish I had not fallen asleep. I feel like I would have had enough time to react to them trying to catch up to me, and I would have stayed ahead. But still, I mean, congratulations to the guys that got um, their short troopers. But it was a lot of fun. I honestly I feel like it's super expensive if you're trying to go for a competitive spot, and they have to make some adjustments to the way that things are going because there are people. It's just out of whack, right? There are people that were able to get 7-star short troopers spending 1,000 crystals, and then there were people that spend 100,000 crystals to get them. You know what I mean? So it was just like so back and forth. I mean, because there was so much colluding going on between other players that you had to stay on top of it. Otherwise, you would get passed by guys that weren't even really spending anywhere near as much as you were to try to stay ahead.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think I ended up, what I said, 41. I think I was 41st. So I was in the top 100. So I got the full unlock and 10 additional shards for the short trooper. And I didn't really spend that many crystals. I don't think it was that much. I mean, it was definitely under, probably 500 crystals what I probably spent over the 3 days of the tournament. So what do you think, if you don't mind us asking, what do you think your spend was, or people that had to get number one? What was the range that they had to be in to get that, do you think?
Well, like I said, I mean, the tournament that I was in was very competitive. It was for the most part very legitimate. Okay, there were a couple of points where one guild was trying to do some stuff below us to catch up, and they were working together. But I don't think they were ever really trying to get rank one. I think they were just trying to stay in the top five. You know what I mean? So, other than that, I think if you're going to be sitting there and facing street meta teams, you're going to be very limited on the amount of teams that are going to work, right? Because you can only really run. I mean, I could only really run my droid team and my current arena team with maybe some adjustments. Like, what I ended up doing was I ended up taking out, let's say, 2 of the characters, so it was a little bit cheaper. Rather than doing 750 refresh, I was only doing 500 refresh, for example. And I'd have like a fresh Rex and a fresh Sunfac I could throw in there instead of having, let's say, Stormtrooper Han in there and Palpatine or whatever. So I was just like switching up these meta characters, but it was like there's really only so much you could do, and you're still spending a ton of crystals for every battle once they get maxed. So if you're trying to stay competitive, I mean, I'll tell you the truth, I ended up blowing through about, I'd say in total about 60k crystals to 70k crystals on the whole tournament.
Oh wow, yeah. So that was definitely, that was more than what it would be for a Rhodium character typically, right? Rhodium characters typically range.
But my experience was completely different than a lot of others. Okay, there were a lot of people that were able to get like a full 7-star, and they didn't have to get anywhere near as many points as I did. I mean, some shards were much less competitive, and you were able to maybe get in the top 3 with 4,000 or 5,000 points, whereas mine at the end we ended up over 10k, like I said, for the most part, there was a lot of piggybacking, people just putting in weaker teams and then them jumping that team, and then they put in a weaker team and then they jump that guy. And it was just going back and forth like that. But it was like, if you weren't doing that, if you were on a shard that wasn't using the team manipulation to get ahead, then you were just straight spending crystals to do refreshes. And if you're playing with anybody else that's also willing to spend the crystals, it's going to get really expensive. So really, it's going to be shard specific or server specific as far as the tournament's concerned. So, I mean, you could get lucky and get into an easy server where you're with a bunch of guys who are more lax, and then you could get put into a server where it's just really, really competitive. Like we had a member of Team Skunk Alpha, Sky, who's also number 1 roster on swgoh.gg. I mean, he was going back and forth with one of the Team Instinct guys, and they went up to, I think, around 28k in points by the end of the tournament. I mean, just an insane number of points, you know what I mean? And that's what you had to do to stay competitive on that server. So you're going to have to be careful, going forward, like what server you're on, based upon what server you're on, whether it makes sense to make the full investment or not. I could have probably done just as well as I did, spending about half the amount of crystals as I did, but I decided to go for the gusto at the end. And like I said, it was a lot of fun, but I ended up I ended up not making it. So I mean, it's a risk you take.
Well, still finishing the third spot. That's not too bad. I mean, there's what, probably 5,000 people at least on that
Oh yeah,
arena tournament.
oh yeah. Somebody else I know was on that same server.
Yeah, I was on there. I didn't spend anything like you guys did. That was crazy. That's great. But I will tell you this: I got a lot of people that sent me little videos and pictures and stuff of them fighting me. So that was kind of cool.
That's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
had actually people that would fight me that I don't know what they were doing. I mean, I don't think my team was that OP or anything like that, but they would actually fight me, and then they wouldn't win. I'm like, well, I appreciate that. I was like, but I don't gain anything from it, and you don't either. So I mean, you can beat me. Go ahead. So yeah, so it was kind of funny. It was cool. I mean, it was a cool event. But again, you know, there were definitely some cons to it. Hopefully that they'll have fixed in the next time that they do it.
I mean, most people could not. I mean, if you weren't spending that kind of money on the tournament, if you were trying to be competitive as even like an average spender in the game, there's no way you would have been able to keep up with that top tier. So I mean, my advice would be if you're not looking to spend a ton and you're trying to do that, just base it on the server, and like going forward, like whatever server you're on, if you see it's kind of relaxed, then maybe invest a little bit more in that particular tournament so you get some extra shards. And if you get into a tournament that seems to be really competitive, I would kind of lay back and just wait for the next one, because these tournaments I think are going to come a lot more frequently. I don't think we're just getting this one and that's it. I think they're going to come back eventually, kind of like the scoundrel event. We'll get maybe every other week. Who knows? But
I thought, yeah, I could have sworn they said it was a weekly thing. I could have swore somebody said that it was weekly. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I would hope that it would at least be a weekly or every other week deal. I mean, that'd be kind of pointless.
I'm sure after the first one, they're probably just going to take some feedback from the customers, and just kind of see what everybody thought about the tournament, and then they'll maybe make some adjustments and then roll it out again.
Yeah. Yep. I think, well, if they're going to do it, they should make it cost crystals to change your defense team. That would probably that would probably be better than, so people aren't changing their defense team up so much. Or just set it one defense and leave it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you're not going to change over 3 days. Your character roster isn't going to change that much to where you need to be moving people around. So,
Man,
we're going to mod up. We've got to change defense. That makes sense.
Thanks for checking out the video. If you're interested in joining a guild, head over to teamskunk.com. We do have open positions in our various guilds. Also, check out lordskunk.com for guides and news for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, LordSkunk1. Also, check out our Discord app. It's a voice and text chat program that you can download on your Mac, your PC, your iOS, or your Android device, and you can connect with thousands of other Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes players. Want access to the ally codes of some of the most infamous players in all the galaxy? Head over to lordskunk.com, click on links, then click on promo, and follow the directions there. We draw winners every Friday during the live show. If you like this video and want to see more, make sure you hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button. You'll be notified when we go live and when we upload new videos. Thanks for checking out lordskunk.com.